Welcome to Dynasty Debrief. Today we're going to bring you a rookie mock draft. We're basing this off of a real life mock draft done by Marcus Mosher from the 33rd team. The link will be in the top of the description. Check that out, as well as all the picks that we could possibly make will be listed right up here. So that being said, let's talk about format real quick. This is going to be based on a 12-team start 10 Superflex league with a 1.75 10 premium, 4-point pass and touchdown. With that being said, I have the first overall pick. I will be taking Caleb Williams first overall. And this mock draft to go his first overall to the Bears, which is exactly what we expect to happen in real life. The Bears are a pretty decent landing spot. In this mock draft, they don't take a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds, but that's okay because they do have DJ Moore ready, as well as a ton of cap space, so they can easily sign one of the free agent wide receivers, which is yet to be seen if they've done that or not. Caleb, he's a set in stone first or second overall pick. This format, I want to lean the quarterback. It depends on your team, but just in general, I'm going to Caleb Williams here. Dak, you're up at the 102.
So the 102, I took Jaden Daniels in this mock draft. He was taken second overall to the Commanders. And we talked about this in previous videos. The Commanders are a really good landing spot. They just brought in Cliff Kingsbury as their offensive coordinator. They've got McLaurin still there. They've got Dotson, who could maybe make a bounce back in his 3rd year. I think Curtis Samuel is a free agent, but they could sign another receiver, replace him. In this mock draft, they also take Jatavion Sanders to replace Logan Thomas as the tight end. So that's a really good landing spot. And then we've talked about Jaden Daniels' rushing upside, which is going to completely carry his draft stock. I'm going to take him here just because he's going to be a dynamic rusher day one in the NFL. Put him in a nice landing spot. We talk about the 12-team quarterback scarcity is important here. I'm taking Jaden Daniels, and I'm not really thinking twice about it.
Yeah, and the 4-point passing touchdown really helps Daniels over, let's say, like a May here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and third overall, I took Marvin Harrison Jr. He was drafted 4th overall in this mock draft to the Arizona Cardinals. Nice landing spot. They still have Marquise Brown right now. Don't know what he's going to do, but Marv is a generational talent. Great career at Ohio State. Best wide receiver in the draft by far. And he'll do great things with Kyler Murray. Just a smash pick there to take Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, Marv is great value at the 103. At the 104, I took Drake May, who ended up going to the Patriots. Patriots, not the best landing spot, as we've talked about. They don't really have a ton of weapons, but hopefully they can bring somebody in to help them out. But we do like Drake May as a prospect. He's got good rushing upside, which is something we like to see. Gives him a nice floor week to week. As we said already, quarterback scarcity in a 12-team superflex. You got to go with the quarterback over the other players here. I didn't like Neighbors' landing spot in particular, so I had to go with Drake May. Dak?
Yeah, so the 105, I am going to take Malik Neighbors here. As Dalton mentioned, he did go to the Giants, which is probably the worst landing spot you can think of besides the Patriots for Neighbors. He will be coached up by Brian Dable, who I like personally as an offensive mind. They've got Daniel Jones there, a quarterback. He might be replaced after next season, so maybe in Neighbors' 2nd year, he'd be getting a quarterback upgrade. But, that's a year away. I'm still going to take Neighbors just because of his talent. He's really a 1B when you're thinking about this draft class to Marvin Harrison. So I'm going to bet on the talent. I'm going to take Malik Neighbors here. And, yeah.
All right, at the 106, I took Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers went 12th overall to the Denver Broncos. Not the best landing spot for him. However, Sean Payton's there. He's a great offensive coach, worked wonders with Jimmy Graham in the past. Cortland Sutton most likely leaving. Jerry Jeudy, I don't know what they're going to do with him personally. But I think the whole offense is getting revamped personnel-wise. If they don't take a quarterback at 112, I don't know who the bridge is going to be. I don't know if they're going to use Stidham. A lot of question marks in an offense. But the one question mark that they won't have is they'll have a franchise tight end. Brock Bowers is an elite prospect, one of the best tight end prospects ever, comparable to what Kyle Pitts was a couple of years ago. True freshman breakout, was tearing up college football at the age of 18. Double-digit touchdowns his freshman year. Just real good. Sean Payton will find ways to utilize him to get him the ball, stretch the field, do it all. Brock Bowers is the 106 is the pick I took.
All right, so I'm about the 107. I'm going to take J.J. McCarthy. Some people don't like J.J. McCarthy, but I think this is the holy grail of landing spots, and that almost does it by itself for me. He went at the 11th overall pick to the Vikings here. It doesn't get much better than that, right? You're throwing to Justin Jefferson, you're throwing to Jordan Addison, you're throwing to T.J. Hawkinson with O'Connell as your head coach. Like, come on, it does not get better. And a terrible defense, too, which is actually a good thing if you have your quarterback, because they're going to throw the ball more, right? JJ, whether you like him or not as a prospect, you can't ignore this very good draft capital, 11th overall, to the best landing spot possible, right? He might sit behind somebody for a year, who knows? But anyway you slice it, with the quarterback scarcity in a 12-team Superflex, you got to go with JJ McCarthy here.
And especially if Kirk Cousins goes to the Falcons free
Right.
agency, I think, when you're thinking about McCarthy going to like a Seahawks, you kind of take into effect that he might not be playing right away. But I would assume he's going to be playing day one. And we like guys that are on the field right away, especially the quarterback position. So I have no problems with that pick. At the eighth pick, I took Rome Odunze, who in this draft went to the Tennessee Titans. Not a great landing spot. We talked about in the Xavier Worthy prospect profile, and that wasn't a great landing spot. But, you're still getting top 7 draft capital as a wide receiver. We like that a lot. He had a really good combine, especially running a 4.45, which I didn't expect him to run. I thought he was going to be more in the 4.5s, but it really just speaks to his athleticism that he has as a receiver. Combine that with the big body that he has too, and he's a quarterback's best friend. He's a really good receiver. Him and Will Levis can make something happen in Will Levis' second year. It remains to be seen. I'm going to take a Dunze here. Just the top 10 draft capital really sells me on him. So, Jeff, who's your pick now?
Up at the 109, I took Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU. In this mock draft, he was drafted 20th overall to the Buffalo Bills, automatically tied to Josh Allen, automatically going to get a boost in Dynasty draft capital. So that's why I decided to go with him at the 109 here. He had a great junior year with Jaden Daniels this past year alongside neighbors, led college football in receiving touchdowns with 17. He was an early declare, which people like to see with receivers, a good 50-50 ball winner. He's a big guy. Josh Allen will look to utilize him in the red zone, in the end zone. I like the value here for Brian Thomas, the 109.
Yes, I'm up with the 110. I'm going to take Adonai Mitchell here. He went to the Chiefs, 32nd overall, and that, by itself is going to boost anyone's draft capital in terms of dynasty up quite a bit. Anyone going to the Chiefs or Bills just gets an automatic like 3-spot ADP jump. Adonai Mitchell was a decent prospect. Had a really good combine where he ran a 4.34, which is blazing fast, especially because he's a rather big human being. Pair that with Mahomes. Mahomes recently has been kind of throwing those shorter passes. Every year, his average at the target has gone down quite a bit. But maybe adding Adonai Mitchell to this offense would help increase that. He can start throwing it deeper a little bit more, get Adonai Mitchell more involved. It doesn't take a superstar wide receiver to be a superstar fantasy producer in this offense, just because you have Mahomes and how much they're going to throw the ball. So I'm taking Adonai Mitchell here at the 110.
Yeah, I really like that pick as well. Now at the 111, I'm going to be taking a guy that we have not talked about yet on this channel. That is Trey Benson. He was taken towards the end of the second round to the Dallas Cowboys. We've talked about running backs. We don't like running backs at all. We always tell you to sell those running backs. But in this case, I think Trey Benson has RB1 in this draft class potential. He had really good size, tested really well at the combine, running a 4.39, and that speed definitely shows up when you watch his film. He didn't catch the ball a ton, but I think when he's going to the Cowboys, which is like arguably a top 5 landing spot in the NFL, they're getting rid of Tony Pollard, so he's going to be getting all the touches, all the carries in the backfield, maybe some receiving work. I think that's a really good spot. He'll probably score a lot of touchdowns. They're going to be generating a lot of great drives, ending in the end zone a lot. So he's going to be a recipient of that. And I like getting a guy, you can count on for 4 years. He's a really young guy too. I believe at only 21 years old. So I really like Trey Benson, and I like him compared to like where the rest of the receivers in this mock draft went and their landing spots. So I figured, you know what, why not grab a running back here that I can build my running back room around? So that's the rationale for Trey Benson. Jeff, you're at 112.
All right, up at the 112 to round out this first round, I will be taking Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy was drafted 30th overall at the Baltimore Ravens. A decent landing spot with Lamar and Todd Monken calling plays. They'll utilize him a ton in and around the line of scrimmage, getting him the ball in the open field, looking to utilize that 4.21 speed that we saw at the combine this past week. Great true freshman breakout, great route runner, good yards per route run, yak ability. He's got it all. Lamar will get him the ball in the short field, and hopefully his legs and his dynamic speed can really create for himself and provide great fantasy points for you moving forward.
Okay, I wanted you, because we've talked about this, off camera. Why would you take Worthy above Trey Benson?
Because I just like the first round receiver with draft capital rather than the second round running back, which is good draft capital for a running back. But personally, I like to build my team around a receiver that goes to a pretty good landing spot with the Ravens. They don't throw the ball a ton, but they will utilize a player that's a speedster like Worthy. So I like to build my team around a receiver, which is why I went with the receiver with first round draft capital.
And there's no right way of doing this. I would take Benson personally just because I don't like the way the pass attempts in Baltimore's offense. That kind of scares me off. But, everyone has their own opinion, and there's no wrong way to really build your team. So that's our rookie mock draft.
That's the beauty of the dynasty, really.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.